Hey, Ninja Maniacs, Kelly here, and I want to share a kind of a bullet point of a listing presentation or an enhanced listing presentation that you guys can take away from and glean if you have a listing presentation you're not happy with or if you're not seeing good results. I want to share with you a digital listing presentation and then go over some of the nuances as to what I feel you should be concentrating on when you have your listing presentation. Now, if you're an agent and you're watching this on YouTube and you've got a killer listing presentation, this might not be for you. So I just am telling you that up front so you don't feel like you waste a lot of time. However, if that is you and you want to see something that might be able to enhance, then stay with me because I want to share with you my digital listing presentation and go over some of the psychology involved at the beginning of the presentation that you're going to have to be able to overcome with a seller, right? So without further ado, I use listings to leads for my listing presentation. I pay $40 a month for the site. It does so much more, guys. I'm not going to do a full boat product demonstration on LTL, but I will tell you a couple things. This is where I run all my Facebook ads. Literally, I can do a one-click. I can run a Facebook ad in under a minute with this company, and it can be for seller, it can be for buyer, whatever. And guys, I'm getting leads from 50 cents on up per lead, including email, phone number, and cell phone, right? So if you're struggling with your Facebook leads, this is the company you want. I pay $40 a month for them. Guys, they give me like 50 plus branded PDF guides. I can share an email blast. I can share on social media. These PDFs are branded to me and they cover a wide variety of topics on all things real estate, right? What a great, great, great tool. And it allows me to create really great digital marketing assets for my listings. The last thing, I can create a for sale by owner website in just a couple minutes to give away to a FSBO as a way of them allowing me to come to their home and meet them. This won't be a listing presentation, but in order to get the free website that generates leads for them, the price of admission is to see my beautiful face, right? This is where I get to hear a little bit more about their story, their motivation. And if they sell the home on their own and they buy another one, it gives me the opportunity to find out if I can be their buyer agent, right? So again, just a ton of free tools. But let's talk about listing presentation, right? So one of the things that you need to be aware of when you're doing your listing presentation is you've got to deal with two things that seller is thinking of in their mind. And it's literally like a blinder. You ever been in conversation with somebody and you're talking blah, 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 and you notice that they're looking at you, but they're not paying attention, right? They haven't heard a thing you said. They're thinking about something else, right? But their body is tuned in such a way that they're not trying to be rude. Now, sometimes they do get rude. They turn off or whatever. But, this morning, my wife was talking to me, right? I don't even know what she was saying to me. I was looking at an HGTV $1 million listing program, right? I was focused in on what they were talking about and I didn't listen to what she said, right? That can upset her because it shows her that there's no value there. But that's what a seller's doing because in their mind, there are two things that they're thinking of. What are you going to charge me to sell my home? That's number one, right? That's a big filter. And then the next thing that they're thinking of is, how much are you going to list my home for? Those are the two things. They don't care about your comps. They don't care about how great you are. You sold 1 billion homes. You sell for 101%. Even though that's important, the most important thing is your commission and how much you can sell the home for, right? So usually at the beginning of the listing presentation, the seller might say something like, what do you guys charge? I've talked to a couple agents already. What is your commission, right? So you need to pattern interrupt because if you talk commission before you've shown your marketing assets, you basically lost the deal. You see, there's an old adage, in the absence of value, people always say no. So if you're giving them the answer to their question but brought no value, you're done, right? Never talk commission at the beginning. And then the other thing is if they say, well, what do you think my house is worth? I always address both of those questions with, hey, is that important to you guys? Is how much you're going to pay your agent important? Yes. Well, I think it should be one of the most important things, if not the most important thing. If you'll give me about 10 to 15 minutes, I want to share with you a couple things that we put in place to get you at or above list price in most cases. making you more money than any other real estate team in town. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you what our commission is. And please understand, I've got multiple commission tiers. One of them has you actually hiring me potentially for free. Is that fair? Right? So you handle it that way. As far as how much you can sell the home for, again, is that important to you? Well, that's great. I actually think your home's worth a lot more than you probably think it's worth. Give me about 10 to 15 minutes to build a couple layers for you to show you why it's going to justify my high evaluation. Is that fair? Yeah, great. See, you've answered it. You've put them at ease, and now you're progressing on. So guys, when I do a listing presentation, one of the first things I do before I actually get into it is I pre-get into it by letting them know one of the most powerful ways that I generate leads for their home. And differentiate yourself from other agents. Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller, most agents won't even go out and generate buyer leads for your home. If they take you as a listing, they're going to put a sign in the yard and call it a day and wait on buyer's agents. Now, in this market, it's a hot seller's market. That is actually working for them. However, we go a step further. We go out and try to find buyers that we feel are the premium buyers for your home. These are people willing to make at or above ask price, right? They're going to have pre-approvals and they're going to have cash for down payments. They typically are not going to be asking for anything back from you. And here's what we do. And I've actually brought a sample, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, of several of these buyers that I think would be interested in your property in the next 30 to 60 days. And before I show it to you, let me share with you where I got them, the MLS. Now, if you're listening to me right now, what I do is I use the MLS to find move up and move down buyers. So everybody that's active or pending within 10 miles of my listing, or in this case, the subject property, I'm going to pull what I consider the best of the best. I'll pull 10 of those. These are people that have a home significantly less square footage, less bedrooms, way less in price than the subject property. I'm going to pull those, and then I'm going to share with the home seller. Mr. Seller, these are people that actively have a home for sale right now. Let me ask you a question. When they sell their home, what are they going to do with their furniture? Exactly. They need a place to put their furniture. They've got to find their next home. And for these home sellers that have not yet found their home, I'm going to be every day on your behalf when I take your listing, reaching out to them and getting them to come to your home. They are the best buyers for your home because they live in the same area. They're looking to get a bigger home. They still want to continue going to their church or synagogue. Their kids are going to school around here. They probably work near here. So they're not looking to move away. They just want to upgrade their home. So your home is a perfect candidate for them. And I will rinse and repeat this until I find the right buyer for your home. And again, these are going to be pre-approved, and these are going to be people highly motivated because they need to find their next home before they close on yours. Now, Mr. Seller, no other agent in our town will market like this that I know of. Is this something you feel would be one of the better avenues to get buyers for your home? And then let them say yes or no. But you've just built a massive value proposition to understand why they should hire you. And then I go right into my digital assets, guys. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit about what I do. And what I do is I have my laptop or my iPad opened up, and I have all the URLs for the digital assets already pulled so I can go one to another. Right? So here, this happens to be one of my listings. So I'm going to use one of my listings to share with you this digital presentation. So the first thing that we're going to do is share the, here we go, share one of the ads I'm going to be running on. Yes, I also run ads on Facebook for my listings. So here is where I stop for just a minute. And I'll say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is a sample of an ad I'm going to run on your home on social media. I'm going to be finding buyers on social media as well. Now, right here, guys, is where I take my cell phone, right? I have it on the table. And then I ask them to bring their cell phones out. And I'm going to say, now, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, one of the things that frustrates agents is they'll get somebody that schedules to see their home, but they don't have any way to contact them. They don't have a phone number, nothing. So what I want to share with you is one of the things that we do is to ensure that people that want to see your home, that we have access to market to them. So I want you to do me a favor. On this website, if you'll notice, there's a text to call feature. So I will have that seller text that number to that number. When they do, my phone's going to go beep, 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 beep. And I'm going to say to them, so Mr. Seller, by you doing that, I just received your cell phone. I got a message from the software saying that you were looking at this property in Leesburg, Florida. And I have your contact information. So I'm going to be highly motivated now to call you back to see if I can schedule your showing of my property. Guys, this is how I keep and maintain all of the assets all of the people looking at your home online that text to call that feature, this is how I can keep them in the loop and potentially motivate them to come to your home, right? Now, while I'm explaining that, the home seller and his wife who did this for me in front of me, they're going to get a text. And on their text, it's going to say, thank you for looking at our house here is the website. You can look at all of the updated pictures and updated pricing and schedule a showing directly with this link. And then I have them click the link and it brings up the mobile version of their website on their phone. And so right there I say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is one of the better ways to digitally market a home. Again, most agents aren't doing this. I employ these strategies. And so when a buyer is looking at your home, I'm going to capture their information, ensuring that we can market to them at our leisure to motivate them to come see your home. Would you think that that's a valuable thing, Mr. Seller? Yeah, great. So we go from there, right? So then once I show them that, I'm going to go ahead then and show them the single property website, which I believe, let me get rid of this. I believe it's right here. So now when I bring up the website, I'm going to leave this. This automatically pops up before we can look at their website. And again, I'm going to let them know. I'm going to create a lead generating website that I'll be sharing on all of my paid ads, social media, and I'm going to give it to you so you can share it on your Facebook page, because at the end of the day, we're trying to generate a lot of activity for your home, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So when I pull this up on my iPad or my laptop, I'm going to say one of the things I want you to see, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, is it's going to ask them to register or click this link so they can continue looking at the home. So what it's going to do is it's going to prompt them to put their phone number. It's going to ask them if they rent or own, right? And then it's going to say you can see the details. That was simple, right? So Mr. Seller, what's going to happen is I'm going to get their cell phone as soon as they do that, and it's going to tell me the home that they're looking at. Whatever, if I have 5 listings, I will know exactly what home they're looking at. Literally, I'm going to call them while they're online looking at your home. Is that important to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller? Would you want your real estate agent to be that proactive? Yes. Okay, great. So again, here is a sample of your website, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. It has the ability for a buyer to schedule an in-person or video tour. They can schedule when they want to do it. And it's got the descriptions. It's got the property info. It even has a questionnaire to help me as your agent determine if these buyers are serious. When do you plan to buy? When I save enough money? If they click as soon as possible, you better believe I'm calling them like now. We're going to get them in your home, right? Here are some photos of this home. Here are some free ebooks that buyer, that client can download. Again, Mr. Seller, because of this, you're bringing value, Mr. Seller, to the end client. If they have a home they need to sell before they buy yours, they can check the value of their home right here. Here is where they can look for coffee shops, grocery stores, shopping, parks, and restaurants near your home. Here is a Google Maps directly in your website, Mr. Seller, so that buyer can walk down the street and see what the neighborhood looks like. That is very powerful. Again, a map of all the schools near your home, and that's important for buyers with family. And here is where we can download a full-colored print PDF of your home. Now, Mr. Seller, I'm going to print 20 of these once I take your home as a listing and leave those in your house so buyers can pick them up. But a prospective buyer can also print this and have it with them as they're going around showing or looking at homes, and have a copy of your PDF. Again, has the text to call feature, has your address. They can schedule a showing right there from that print. So that's a sample of the website, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, right? So I've shown them a bunch of digital assets already. Now, here is a sample of an e-flyer for your database. So what I'm going to do once I take your listing is I'm going to send you an email, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, and it's going to look like this. And it'll say, and this is something you can go ahead and send to all your family and friends. If you have a big base of family and friends and you've got their email addresses, I'm sending this to you, Mr. Seller, so you can send it to them and engage them to see if they can share it with their friends, to see if in that respect we can find a buyer interested in your home. And this is what it looks like. This is what the email is going to look like when I send it to you. It's going to say, if you are anyone interested in more information, price, blah, blah, blah. It's got the actual link for this home. It has pictures on the email that rotate, which is really cool, right? So that is a sample of an email that I'm going to send you for you to send to your family and friends, right? Here is another email. Now, please forgive me, guys. That flyer was for my database. I was wrong on that. This flyer, guys that are watching this, sometimes this happens. This is the flyer you as the agent will send to your buyer list. So if you're like me and you have thousands of contacts in your CRM, this is where you can grab this done for you email and blast it to your sphere of influence as an agent and any of your contacts, buyers you're working with, right? So, and I'm going to show that to them. Hey, I'm going to be contacting the thousands of buyers in my CRM and showing them your home. But here's the one that you're going to give the seller. So Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, this is an email I'm going to send you once I take your home as a listing. And it's going to walk you through how to share your home on your email to all your family and friends and acquaintances so that you can ask them to share your home. So anyway, really cool, guys. Email blast to both you as the agent sphere of influence and the home seller's contact list, right? Here's all the digital assets for print marketing. You can pick whatever you want and download it. Show them all of these different ones. I usually have about 4 or 5 of these printed to show them how powerful this is as a digital. Oh, hold on. I'm going to show you one more too. Now, these are listing flyers, right? Here is something that when I show this to a home seller, absolutely blows them away, right? So let me show you what this looks like. Let me edit it. So here is a letter you can literally print right now on your computer. So you say, Mr. Homeowner, I actually have the ability to pull all the addresses from your neighborhood. Here is a letter that I can print and literally send to all the people in your neighborhood, informing them that your home is going on the market. Now, invariably, this will happen. Somebody's living in your neighborhood and they have a family member or friend that's like, hey, if a home goes live in your neighborhood, let me know. I'm interested in buying it. That to me is a premium buyer. So you can share with them in this digital presentation that you have access to sending everybody in their neighborhood this letter. Basically, it's a killer full color letter. You print it, stuff it, and send it. But again, guys, no other agent's doing that, right? Postcards. Y'all that follow me know I'm a huge postcard person. So this actually creates postcards directly for your listing, and you can send those out to everybody in the neighborhood. And then lastly, door hangers. You can order these through Listings to Leads and get them in just about a week or so. But if I'm not a big door hanger, but you can tell the seller, you're willing to order these for them. If they've got people they know, or if they've got, they're out walking around, you'll order these for them. But I typically stay away from this because I don't do a lot of door hanging. But I wanted to show you agents how powerful this is, right? Now, here's another one. So I don't normally do open houses in this market because houses are selling, but I am going to share this with my seller. And so what happens on your digital assets is Listings to Leads is going to give you a URL. And normally what I do is I tell my seller, Mr. Seller, I'm going to have my laptop open in your home if we do an open house. And we're going to ask everybody to register here before they look, right? So they just simply go to my computer, they fill this in and hit enter. And then what happens is now I'm going to be able to keep a database of people that come through your open house. This ensures that we can get back to them for feedback to find out what they thought, or is anybody going to make an offer? Again, this is a digital asset that we show that home seller to let them know how powerful this type of open house marketing is. And then there's a couple other things I'm not going to go over to with you guys, but you can auto post to Craigslist directly through here. You can do text sign writers. If you're into this, guys, you can show your seller, hey, I'm going to order this sign today. If you tell me we're going to be listing your home, say we're not going to go live for a week. If we sign a listing agreement today, I'm going to go ahead and order these, and they're going to be on your sign. So everybody that comes through your neighborhood, if they text to call this, we're going to know about it immediately, right? And then lastly, I'm going to show them another digital asset, Mr. and Mrs. Home Seller. One of the things I'm going to do for you is I'm going to create a YouTube video that's quite awesome regarding your home, right? And I show them, here's an example of and guys, this software does it all, like within minutes. It adds the music. It's branded directly to you, and it has the text to call. You can share this on sites like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and it's brilliant. And you can cross-post this on different Facebook groups. But guys, this is a great, when you show this to him on your laptop, oh my gosh, you're going to blow him away because it's there. They can see their home. So that is an idea, guys, of how you can digitally up the game on your listing presentation. I know you're going to want to stop and rewind this because I went through this very quickly, but you've got to understand that there is a beginning, middle, and end to your listing presentation. But if you do something like this, I'm telling you, you're going to stand apart from other agents. Make sure you don't answer all of his objections like an argument. If they want to argue commission, don't do it. Make sure that you tell him with regard to any questions at the beginning, you pattern interrupt. You agree with them. You ask them if that's important, and then you ask them if we can go ahead and talk about that in a couple minutes because you're going to be very surprised. Blah blah blah. Right, and then go ahead and show him these digital assets. Have some of these flyers printed. I send these emails, his sphere of influence and my sphere of influence. I send them to me, so all I have to do is pull up my email and show it how it looks on an email for him. Guys, it blows them away. Make sure you're having them text a call on that feature, and you're off and running. So guys, this was a different example of a listing presentation that you can do. Below the video, I'm going to give you a link for a 30-day free trial of this $40 a month software. So you can enjoy it for 30 days. Check it out. Make yourself a FSBO website. Talk to a FSBO if you want. Give them a free site. I mean, there's just so much you can do with this site. And drop me comments below. Tell me what you thought about this. If you didn't like it, tell me, this sucked. If you loved it, tell me, hey, I loved it. If this helps you, please tell me that this helps you. Right? So look for the link. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that now and hit the bell. You'll be notified when I go live with these marketing videos. Like you, I'm an agent, and I look for stuff like this to bring value to you as an agent. All right, I'm going to end with that. I'm going to tell you right now that I appreciate you, Ninja Maniacs, and I will see you on the next video.